Okay. We call the meeting to order. As courtesy to everyone, please take a moment and silence any devices that may interrupt the meeting. Thank you very much. And now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. As Curtis already said that. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster Incorporated, February 5th, 1819. We are gathered here at the historic City Hall, originally the state built in 1842 by Colonel John K. Longwell. The city acquired this building in 1939 and has since been the venue where the Mayor and Council conduct city business. One interesting fact about Westminster is the Showman House, built in 1807, is one of Westminster's most iconic historic homes. Mary Showman, who lived at the home from 1864 until 1934, is noteworthy for many reasons, not the least of which were her memorial efforts related to veterans as well as other civic works. The house briefly served as a Confederate headquarters, which must have been much to the chagrin of Mary Showman, who was a Union sympathizer. In 1939, it became the headquarters for the Historic Society of Carroll County, which was founded to preserve the county's rich heritage. The house itself is a beautifully preserved example of Federal-style architecture and serves as a museum offering a window into early 19th century life in Westminster. Moving on, the council typically convenes on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Please note that these meetings are open to the public here at City Hall and also streamed live on the city's YouTube page as well as Community Media Center channel and website. We extend our gratitude to the Media Center for their partnership and ensuring that the public has access to these meetings. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using this evening are available online at the city's website. Hard copies of the agenda are also available here in the front of the room. We will move on to introducing of special guests. McDaniel College has a McDaniel College started a tradition a number of years ago under the leadership of President Jody Jaskin, where she sends a representative to our council meetings during the school year to foster a close and meaningful relationship with the city. This evening, we have Christine Moran, Associate Vice President of Student Success. I know you've been here before, so the floor is yours.
I have, and actually I will just correct for the minutes. I am filling in for Christine, who was unable to be here. Janelle Hombo, Executive Vice President.
No, Janelle.
I was going to say, you only read that and we're like, wait,
I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
So Christine sends her apologies.
Sorry.
No problem at all. I wanted to share a quick update from McDaniel and also take a moment to say thank you to the city. On the academic side, I wanted to share that we are seeing extremely positive momentum in our graduate programs, especially our new occupational therapy program. So we are launching that new master's program in May, and we currently have 24 students who have paid their enrollment deposit to commit to McDaniel, which is incredibly exciting. This is larger than many of the cohorts in our regional peers, and we are exceeding the goals that we had for the program itself. We are also preparing to launch our new speech language pathology application this summer, and we are on track to do so. So they will be launching and opening up in July. Athletics continues to be a point of pride. I don't know if you know, but one of the earliest Olympic sports was wrestling. Not a winter sport, but an Olympic sport nonetheless. And we are closely following Thomas Mon in wrestling. He is on track to become the first ever 3-time All-American in McDaniel's wrestling history. So if you would like to follow along, we would encourage you to do so. His success is bringing a lot of spirit and energy to campus. And we are also entering one of our busiest and most exciting times of the year as it relates to visitors. And this impacts not just McDaniel, but also all of Westminster. We are preparing to host our first of 3 large admitted student events, which typically bring over 500 students for each event. Our second admitted students day generally brings over 1,000 visitors to Westminster. So those will be rolling out over the next couple months, and we are excited to introduce them not just to McDaniel, but also to the city. Before closing, we wanted to thank the city for its continued partnership, especially around snow removal, working with us to make sure that student cars were removed and that you were working with us on the streets that were close to campus. This has been, we know, a citywide and a campus-wide effort to ensure our students and our employees are safe. And we really appreciate the partnership that's been extended there and all of the hard work by the team that's been doing snow removal and snowcrete or whatever they're calling the concrete that is existing right now. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Janelle. My grandkids were up watching the wrestling match this weekend. They've got wrestling shirts and all. They're little.
Yeah.
Coach Goretzis is a close family friend, and he's done a wonderful job.
Wonderful job. And the women's team is doing a great job.
Doing a great job with that.
Yeah. So we've been very excited to see sort of this happening. So
it's really cool to see some real success.
Yes.
It's awesome. And on the nursing, I had an opportunity to spend a little time with what's the lady's name that's in charge of all of that?
Heather Gable, Dr. Heather Gable, or Dr. Vicky Mazer. Vicky, yes.
Yeah, I spent a little time with her last week, and it's really neat to see the collaboration between the hospital, the community college, and McDaniel, kind of fostering these kids where they just keep moving through, and then, it keeps them here in the community, which is great.
Yeah. I will add too, we just have been recruiting for our next cohort of Carroll County Scholars. This year, we further enhanced that program by adding a new event that was for Carroll County scholars that were interested in pursuing athletic recruitment, so that they were looking at Division I, Division II, or Division III athletic participation. And we had a panel of coaches, recruiters to talk about what that looks like, what that process is. We are also looking at working with the Career and Tech Center to start to integrate into Carroll County scholars a nursing pathway and some of the other health pathways. So working closely with the city.
That's great. And again, Janelle, I'm sorry. I know.
To apologize, please. Yes, you're fine.
Okay, we'll move on to approval of minutes. We have 4 sets of minutes to approve this evening. Minutes from the Mayor and Common Council meeting of December 8th. Minutes from the Common Council meeting, closed session meeting of December 8th. Common Council meeting minutes from January 12th. And Common Council work session minutes from January 20th. Do I have a motion to approve these 4 sets of minutes?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve all 4 sets.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huff. You have a second by Mr. Pecoraro. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We have 2 items on the consent calendar this evening. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dayhuff. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Madam Mayor, your report.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to start by thanking our Streets Department, Public Works staff, and the Westminster Police Department for their incredibly hard work over the last couple weeks. All these departments have been working long hours due to the snow event on January 25th, which seems to be lingering forever. The street departments were on top of the snow removal from that Sunday, and as it ended with sleet and then sub-zero temperatures for over a week, it became snowcrete. I've heard nothing but compliments on the way the roads were treated in Westminster, especially Main Street, which was open for business by Tuesday morning. Since then, I've seen the street department still working on snow removal in neighborhoods. I know they came through our neighborhood a few days ago to remove the large piles that are not melting with the temperatures we've had. And these temperatures have also resulted in water main breaks throughout the city, and Public Works Department has been out every day working on the water main breaks. On Saturday, when the wind chill was -13 all day, they were out, that's -13 Fahrenheit. They were out working on a water main break on Cranberry Road in front of the Days Inn for probably about 6 hours. The police department has been busy responding to calls in this snowy cold weather, as well as assisting the streets department and the Public Works Department. It's been a team effort, and the hard work and dedication has not gone unnoticed by myself and the residents. So thank you very much. In late January, the Maryland Municipal League's MML Engagement and Outreach Committee met virtually. We are in the midst of MML's If I Were a Mayor contest, or If I Were a Mayor, I Would contest. The essay is open through March 5th. This is MML's oldest ambassador program, and fourth graders from across the state take place in the contest every year. We also discuss the Banner City program and encouragement for those municipalities who are not yet members of the Banner City. Also, in late July, the MML board met where the topic of discussion was the adoption of universal bylaws for chapters. I will have more information on this topic at a later date. The financial state of MML is in good standing and the leadership is strong. MML President Todd Knock and MML staff will be visiting Westminster sometime in the spring for a joint visit with McDaniel, but the date has yet to be set. I will be attending the MML Advocacy Day on March 5th in Annapolis. Thursday, January 22nd, I attended a Carroll 250 event at the Carroll County Arts Center. This was the Carroll County 250 traveling exhibit that is on display at the Arts Center through February 21st. The exhibit is a 10 by 10 foot replica of a Revolutionary Era tavern with interactive elements and historical themes related to the semi-quincentennial. It was very interesting, and I encourage you, if you have the time, to head to the Arts Center to take in this exhibit. On Thursday, January 29th, I introduced Congressman Johnny Olszewski at the Carroll County Veterans Independence Project. The congressman was there to present CCVIP with a $1 billion check for their new Veterans Freedom Center. The congressman was instrumental in securing this $1 million for this Carroll County nonprofit. And then finally, this Wednesday, in 2 days, I will be representing Westminster at the State of the State address in Annapolis, followed by a luncheon at the governor's residence. And that's all, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. And now we will move on to reports from the committees, and we'll start off right back with you, Arts Council.
Thanks. All right. So the Carroll County Arts Council is coming off the heels of a phenomenal January documentary series into a wonderful foreign film series for the month of February. There's no better way to beat the winter blues than to get out into the city, enjoy dinner at a downtown restaurant, take a walk under the lights, and see a film at the Arts Center. Peep Show registration is underway until March 8th. Peeps will soon be scarce in Westminster as the decorators buy up the Peeps at local stores. This is the 19th Peep Show, so expect a big celebration in 27 when we hit the 20th anniversary of Peep Show. The Peep Show will be held from March 27th through April 6th at the Town Mall of Westminster, so be sure to put that on your calendar for a sweet spring event. That is all, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. We'll move on to Economic and Community Development, Mr. Huff.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you very much. Finance Committee, Mr. Guerrero.
Thank you, Mr. President. The staff, I understand, is busy having budget meetings and preparing for sharing that information with us, and looking forward to putting together a finance committee meeting in the near future so we can start discussing that as well as some other matters.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. And how about Personnel Committee?
That's me now, isn't it?
It is.
I haven't had a chance.
No, I understand. We've had some change, right? Okay. Public safety, I do have a report related to the snow. Of course, there were no serious incidents or accidents associated with the storm. The community were a great partner with the city by complying with the temporary parking restrictions that we implemented, which resulted in no vehicles needing to be towed, and it allowed Public Works and emergency services to open primary access routes efficiently and without delay, ensuring uninterrupted access for public safety and emergency response operations, which is critically important. And if anyone doubts the hard work, of course, that our Public Works did, removing that snow, just drive up to the old East Middle parking lot and take a look at the mountain of snow that's up there. It's quite unbelievable. Okay, Public Works, Mr. Pecoraro, back to you. You're very busy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'll just say, and to everybody else's remarks about the snow removal, that I've had the opportunity to talk with a number of residents who are all very appreciative of the terrific job that's been done by the staff. And I know this, pass that on to everybody in the Public Works Department. I know that they've all, whether it was working on water main breaks, which is a terrible thing to have to do in this weather, as well as the snow removal, they just done an amazing job.
Thank you very much. Recreation and Parks, Mr. Dayhoff.
I have no report this evening, sir.
Thank you. Technology Committee, Mr. Dayhoff.
No report.
Intergovernmental, Mr. Huff.
No report.
We'll move on to council comments and discussion. Mr. Pecoraro.
I have nothing to add, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff.
I appreciated the mayor's remarks about snow removal. It's a history and tradition that we do it well, but I think they really outdid themselves. And we're looking forward to the ribbon cutting at Wakefield on February the 20th. I think I finally got that date cleared. I thought it was important to me that I be able to attend that, and I'm extremely looking forward to that. It's just a great venue. I think that'll be my report, Mr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dayhoff. Mr. Huff.
The only thing I will mention is I attended Hay Westminster's year-end celebration on January 27th. And if you're not familiar with Hay Westminster, most of you all are, I'm sure. But it's a community group that basically gives out money to different causes or people that they think are doing cool things in the community. It's a really great group of people, and I really like it. Demonstrates the community spirit of Westminster. So I really commend them for all they do in our community. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huff. I have nothing, so we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. We have one item this evening before us. It's the introduction of resolution number 2603, annexation number 72, a resolution enlarging the corporate boundary of the city of Westminster by annexing into the city certain properties containing plus or minus 2.9443. Sure how we get plus or minus from that number, but either way, acres contiguous and adjoining to the city's existing corporate boundaries, consisting of real property located at 10 Sullivan Road, Westminster, Maryland, 21157, also identified as tax account number 07-04808, map 0039, grid 0013, parcel 0752, and comprising of plus or minus 1.4983 acres and plus or minus 1.446 acres of right-of-way containing a portion of College View Boulevard, Maryland Route 140, Maryland Route 97, belonging to the Maryland Department of Transportation and Highway Administration, Community Planning and Development. Mr. Depot.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, did you read tax account number 07-048408? Is that what you read?
I did.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
Thank you. So Padme LLC is petitioner that is requesting that the Mayor and Common Council annex certain real property into the corporate limits of the city. Mayor and Common Council may enlarge the boundaries of the city of Westminster as provided in the annotated code of Maryland. The property is located outside city limits, but inside the water and sewer service area and is eligible for annexation under state law. The property is currently being served by public water and sewer. The annexation area is C2 Commercial Medium Intensity District under the zoning laws of Carroll County. And the petitioner is requesting that the property be zoned B Business Zone under the city zoning ordinance. Development in the B Business Zone is substantially similar to development in the C2 Commercial Medium Intensity Zone, therefore no waiver would be needed. The petitioner, as the owner of the property and the city, did enter into an annexation agreement that outlines certain obligations of both the city and the owner prior to annexation of the property. On December 11th, 2023, the Mayor and Common Council approved this annexation agreement. In general, the annexation agreement allows the owner to obtain additional water necessary, approximately 1,332 gallons of water per day, to allow the owner to construct and operate a convenience store and gas pumps at the property, subject to compliance with the city's development design preference manual, landscape manual, and city regulations regarding to the B Business Zone, and complying with the city's regulations relating to signage and annexation of the property. The petitioner is currently constructing a Sheetz convenience store and gas pumps at the property. The city did review that plan for all those elements. At this time, staff recommends that the Mayor and Common Council introduce Resolution 2603 for Annexation 72, allowing the annexation process to begin. That completes my report. Available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Depot. Let's go ahead and get it on the table, and then we can have some discussion if necessary. May I have a motion to introduce Resolution 2603?
Mr. President, I will make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Huff.
Second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pecoraro. Okay, now that we have it on the table, is there any discussion related to the introduction of this ordinance?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Huff.
Just out of curiosity, I looked back, things take time. I was first contacted about this property because there were some issues with Mr. McGuire with helping with the county back in January 2023. So that just shows you how long this has been kind of working through the process. So I'm very excited to be here tonight and actually see it being annexed into the city because as Mr. McGuire could testify, it was a little bit of a journey at times through the process. So I'm glad we're here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Anyone else have anything related to the introduction of 2603?
President,
Yes, Mr. Guerrero.
I can say that back when I was council president, early on, long before Mr. Hoff was on the council, Mr. McGuire and I had a lot of conversations about how to figure out how to make this work, annexation after, work began. So I too am very pleased that we're at a point now where we're able to wrap this up in terms of the annexation. And before it's going to be an asset to people on that side of town, and looking forward to getting it done.
Mr. Pecoraro, I forgot you did attend the Carroll County Planning and Zoning Committee meeting for me because I could not make it. So yes, it was a team effort. Yes.
Well, when Mr. McGuire and I were in elementary school.
You talk about this property.
All right. So,
But no, I know. Well done.
all right. Is there any further discussion related to the introduction of number 2603? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor of introduction of 2603, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution is introduced. We have no unfinished business. We have no new business. We will now move on to departmental reports. Ms. Moss.
Mr. President. I have a bunch of acknowledgements I want to make today. Thank you for mentioning the snow removal. That was really a yeoman's task. I'm told that this was the first time in a long time, maybe the first time ever, that we closed parking on Main Street in anticipation of the snow. It was, I think, the right decision. We appreciate your support of that. And more than that, we appreciate the partnership with the community because it seemed like we had a lot of support for that decision. And because the cars were out of the way, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that the cars out of the way that we can clear the snow quicker. The streets department is a department that is, besides the events, mostly behind the scenes. So you don't see what they're doing on a day-to-day basis when they're replacing catch basins and paving streets if you're not on that street, for example. But this was an opportunity for the Public Works Department and specifically the Streets Department to show the community what they do, what they do best. And we were able to show off some of these cool toys that we have and equipment that we have that we talk about ad nauseum during the budget process, trying to explain the significance of why we need a piece of machinery that we may only use once in a while. But when you come to that once in a while where you really need to use it, this is the time that we needed to show that off, and we certainly did. The entire streets department worked for the entire shift, if you will, which was multiple days. They are still clearing snow now. We had a couple of employees from other parts of the Public Works Department that chipped in to help drive tractors and plow snow. We'll be in the greens tomorrow to continue our curb to curb snow removal. I live in Carroll County and that has not existed in my neighborhood. So I know that the services that the residents in the city of Westminster expect are being delivered. And that is entirely due to our superintendent, Steve Strasberg, who deserves all the credit. The whole department chipped in. It's a team effort for sure, but without Steve's leadership, planning, and consistent monitoring and feedback, we would have had a different experience. So we received one complaint in advance of the snowstorm, and we received, if someone didn't like that we had some no parking signs up. We received one complaint after the snowstorm, but considering the amount of snow that we received, how many employees were out, how long they were out, I consider that just such a win. I'm so proud of this department. But it's not just the streets department, although Steve and the streets department deserve an enormous amount of credit. But the other parts of the public works department that we don't think about, the ubiquitous things like your water still works, that you can take a hot shower and the water just disappears without you knowing it, happens because of the employees at the water department and the wastewater department. The superintendent at the water department stayed the night during the event, just slept at the water plant to make sure that nothing transpired, because things can go haywire sideways kind of quickly down there, and if he couldn't get there from his house in time, it makes a difference in our use of water. At the wastewater department, we had an employee who stayed the night as well, overnight, just to make sure that the next shift could get in. And we had an employee who ended up walking almost 6 miles to get in. I don't know why he didn't just call for a truck to come get him. He thought they were busy doing other things and didn't want to bother him, so he walked. And that's the kind of dedication that this department has. And it's not just Public Works Department, it's citywide. These are our employees. The police department ensured that there was seamless transition between departments. We didn't have anyone that wasn't able to show up or couldn't show up. And that's in part because we provide them with the equipment and the take-home vehicles that are up to date that can handle this type of weather. But it's also because of the dedication of those members of the department and the leadership and planning in advance of the chief and his staff. We worked together. The chief and his staff worked with the Public Works Department to make sure that they were sharing information in the middle of it. Also worked with the HR department to make sure we're sharing liability issues if they came up, which they didn't. And it was a successful event. I know the team is tired. I'm sure you're tired. You've just talked about you're tired of looking at the snow. It snowed again last week. It's probably going to snow again next week. This team's going to handle it and take care of it. And I, for one, am incredibly proud of the work that they have done. All right, a couple of other items. As Councilmember Dehoff mentioned, we have a big event on February 20th at Wakefield. There's a ribbon cutting, which is a by invitation only event at 4 p.m. But we encourage the public to come out between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m. for an open house. So if you've thought about having a birthday party or some kind of meeting for your group or the sewing group, or you have a wedding coming up or your kid has a wedding coming up and you want to take a look at those rooms, come on out between 5 and 6 p.m. on February 20th. We'll have staff marked at all the rooms to answer some questions that you may have. And we're really looking forward to having the public share this really important venue for all of us. This is a big win. I hope you all take a chance to really think about that. We utilized important federal dollars that sort of fell into our lap a few years ago, and combined that with some existing funds that we had that we were able to secure at the state level, along with the expertise of Ms. Abby Gruber, and the endless meetings that we've had to go through to get this from a dilapidated building to what I think is really going to be a gem for the region, not just for the city. I'm very excited about it. The trails are going to have some city money in it, but that building itself doesn't have any city money in it. So there's no local taxpayers' dollars in it. I'm very proud of that fact. I was asked with that when I first got here, not to put any city money in it. And somehow we still managed to put together a $3 million project. That's incredible. It couldn't have been done without the people in this room. So I want to thank you for helping us get there, for supporting our budget needs and the various procurements we had to go through. Obviously, I want to thank Ms. Gruber for her endless effort. There are decisions that she's made that none of us will ever realize, but we will all recognize it when we use that space every single day. All right, that's my report. We're going to quickly go around the room because I know everybody wants to get out of here. We'll start with Ms. Gruber.
Good evening. Just a couple of quick things. We did have our Adaptive Rec Winter Ball at Wakefield on January 31st. We had over 100 attendees. Great time was had by all. We're happy it was that weekend and not later or early. On February 2nd, our camp registration opened and the response is brisk. This is by far the most registrants that we have had to date. We always open camp registration at the very beginning of February. Our pool membership sales are also going very well. I think people are just wishful thinking and they fall to pay for those right now, like play summer. And lastly, I just want to remind The council, in case you haven't started training, that the Celtic Canter is just around the corner, scheduled for March 14th. And so we certainly hope to see you all out there towed up to the start line for that very arduous 0.5K. So that concludes my report unless there are questions.
Are there any questions for the Recreation Director? None, we will move on to the Human Resources Director, Ms. Brown.
Good evening. I'm happy to be able to share with you all this evening the Share Signal report. But in line with what has already been mentioned, we, the Human Resources Department, are very proud to report that we were able to successfully ensure full staffing of our Streets Department and only one vacancy in our Utilities Department prior to the snowstorm that happened in January. And thanks to this preparedness, our staff were able to respond effectively, work safely, and remain at the ready during the entire storm for what was an intense 36 to 40 hours. This allowed them to protect the community and to maintain essential services for our community. Their dedication and professionalism were critical during this challenging event, and we are pleased to note that there were no reported injuries among our staff. Secondly, we recently received notification that an audit conducted in November by the Criminal Justice Information System Central Repository, also known as CJIS, audit unit was conducted and was completed successfully with no issues identified, and the city was found fully compliant with all requirements. As a city with employees in sensitive roles such as law enforcement and positions that work with children, we have access to this CJIS repository for background checks and are subject to these audits. This successful audit reflects the integrity, professionalism, and careful attention to policy and procedures that we uphold across our workforce. And it is a point of pride for me as the Director of Human Resources and for the city as a whole. So I'm happy to report that. And that concludes my report for this evening, unless there are questions.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Are there any questions for the Human Resources Department?
Great job.
I have a quick update for the Public Works Department. As I think the mayor mentioned, the Utilities Maintenance Division has been working nonstop. Last week, they had 3 water main breaks. They were working from early in the morning until early in the morning next day as well, just moving around from site to site. And they had water main breaks over this weekend, which was one of the coldest weekends that we've had in a very long time. So that is a team that you never hear from. You hopefully don't see very much, but they're the reasons why your water isn't out for too long. Most people weren't impacted by those water main breaks. That's due to the diligence of that team. So some of them are listening right now. I just want to take a moment to thank that team. All right, we're going to move on to the IT department. Mr. Moore.
Yeah, just saying, we're working on a budget, finishing this up now. And since we last met, we've had a few outages. Microsoft hit us pretty hard with the big one. Just responding to those and keeping everything that we can running during the time we can. So other than that, any questions?
That doesn't sound like he's been doing anything, but he really has been working. This has been one of the busiest 3 or 4 weeks that we've had in a very long time in the IT department. So thank you for your. All right, we will move on. Seeing no questions, we'll move on to the Planning Department. Mr. Depot.
Thank you. The Board of Zoning Appeals February 3rd meeting was canceled as there were no applications before the board, but we do have one in March. So it's been a while. The February 4th Historic District Commission met to discuss the annual History Expo taking place on Saturday, February the 28th at Winters Mill High School. The commemoration of the Westminster Cemetery commemorative marker on Sunday, April 19th, and its nation's 250th preparations. On February the 19th, the Planning and Zoning Commission is scheduled to review its annual report for certification, review Chick-fil-A subdivision plat. This is a new Chick-fil-A at Market Street Extended and Maryland Route 140. Review a request by Boot Barn, which is to be located at the Westminster Shopping Center to allow for a larger sign. Review the revised architectural elevations for 404 Malcolm Drive, Medical Office Building and Daycare, and review the revised architectural elevations for the Willows project, the 2 residential development north of Sullivan Avenue and east of Pennsylvania Avenue. And that completes my report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Depot? Hearing none, we'll move on to Housing Department. Mr. Ryan.
One quick question for Ms. Depot. The BZA meeting in March, what time does that start?
6 o'clock.
This room.
Thank you. I just want to report from the Housing Department. We closed the waiting list on the 6th. And thanks, Rick, for your assistance in helping us get that taken care of on our website. At the time, there are 741 people on the waiting list when we close. So we'll systematically start going through that waiting list and whittling it down to a much more manageable and achievable level that we'll be able to serve. And the code enforcement, we've been working with the community to address the issues of clearing their sidewalks in a timely manner. And for the most part, I think everybody has been cooperative in getting that taken care of. We're still getting calls about some places where we're still having some challenges, and our staff is going around working and contacting people to make sure that they get this taken care of as quickly as possible. I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have at this point.
Are there any questions for the Housing Department? Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll move on to Finance. Ms. Reynolds.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Good evening. As has been mentioned, Finance Department is busy working with all of the city departments on the fiscal 27 operating budget, which will be continuing on for several more weeks. We've also wrapped up our calendar year processes, which include a lot of deadlines with the IRS, effective end of January. This year was early February. And we continue on with our efforts on our financial software upgrade, which will be going on for a while. And that's the end of my report.
I failed to mention that the Finance Department managed to get payroll out the week of the snowstorm. We planned in advance to start a little bit early, but it was an undertaking because, not everybody lives in town, so it's quite difficult to get in. But we were not going to let payroll go by without making sure it was done properly. So on behalf of all the employees, thank you so much.
Thank you to the staff.
Are there any questions for the Finance Director? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Police Department. Chief.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I was going to anybody talk about the storm yet? No. So I was going to highlight the interdepartmental coordination between all the departments during and throughout the storm. We worked in close coordination, especially with the Streets Department, but everybody, and kind of set up a unified command and had continuous communication. It was a high level of communication and coordination, and they did a great job. And it just allowed us to get the streets open. And I've never seen this level of coordination between so many department heads. So it was great. I just wanted to highlight it.
Thank you. We really work together as a team because we are a team. And I just want to thank everyone in this room. There was a lot of behind the scenes work that was done to get there, including the IT department, which we haven't mentioned yet. But thank you all for your hard work. Thank you for Mayor and Council for your patience while the staff was able to work through during the storm. We really appreciate it. Mr. President, that concludes the departmental reports.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Final item on our agenda is citizen comments, during which we invite the public to address the Mayor and Common Council on issues related to tonight's agenda or any other city matters. For those not attending the public meeting, we welcome your comments at comments@westminsternd.gov. All emailed comments will be shared with the Mayor and Council. Please include your address and phone number with your comments. We'll now invite comments from those present this evening. This is an opportunity for the public to share your thoughts with the Mayor and Council. Our role at this point is to listen to your comments and respond appropriately after consulting with staff and each other. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to be heard? You're our only guest this evening, sir. Do you have anything?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's
good?
That's what, yes.
Absolutely.
It was well done.
Great, thank you, sir.
I would just
wasn't
like
gonna
to speak as a citizen.
Right.
I feel.
Name and address.
Sorry,
please.
Janelle Hallbo, 4 Pine Hill Drive.
Thank you.
I would just like to say it is inspiring to sit and listen to all of the excellent leadership and the performance of our city employees. And I am glad that I was here for this particular meeting because it gives me a sense of pride as a citizen and as someone who works in the city. So
Do you live in town?
I do.
Did not
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I live like you could throw and hit the admissions office from my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you all.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, well, that concludes our agenda and the meeting. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is Monday, February 23rd, 2026